Beulah, welcome along to a very special live stream interview with some of the cast from TINÀ. We're really excited to bring you a little bit of behind the scenes information. We're going to talk about the cast, shooting the film, how Miki came up with the film, and really dive in there, give you some behind the scenes stuff. So we should start with introducing the team here. So I'm going to let them do that themselves. They're going to talk a little bit about who they are, how they got involved in the film, and why this film's so special to them.
Talofa everyone. My name is Beulah Koale. I'm Samoan, born and raised in New Zealand. I'm an actor. I'm an actor in the film. I play Seal. I got involved with this film maybe later in the project when it was green lit and Miki sent through the script, and I pretty much just said yes on the spot. And Miki, to me, our relationship, he's kind of like a big brother role model to me. So anything that he's making, I'm trying to be around or be in and support it. And yeah, we made this film. We shot it maybe 2 years ago, and we've been pushing this film around for a couple of months now. So it's I'm excited for you guys to watch it. Excited for you guys to see Mum here, who plays Marita, and see her amazing work and see what Miki has put together. So, yeah.
I remember I sent you the script, and the time you called me back, I was on the freeway going home.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about the script.
Yeah.
And I was driving, going onto the bridge,
Yeah.
going, this is not the best time for me to talk to you about the script. But I just kept going and kept going. Yeah, and you kept going, oh man, I love it. And I think we can do this and we can do this. And I was going, no, that's cool. While I was just driving on the way home. So I distinctly remember that. Kia ora, everybody. Māro lava. My name is Miki Magasiva. I'm the writer, director, and one of the producers for TINÀ the film. Our lead producer there is the wonderful Dan Higgins. And we started on this journey about 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
I wrote a treatment for it. And this film was originally set in Auckland, actually. And if you know New Zealand at all, you know that Auckland is in the top of the North Island and is our biggest city, which is where all of us currently live.
Yeah.
And I sent that first treatment to Dan. And I said, Dan, I have this idea, I have this story. It's about a teacher. She's grieving. She starts a choir at a private school she's forced to go and teach at. And then she takes this choir all the way to a national choir competition where her and her kids connect, get to know each other. Zac is one of our kids who plays it. And I sent it to you, bro? And I was like, what do you reckon of this?
Yeah, it was amazing. Just even at treatment stage, you could see how beautiful the story was going to come to life. It had this beautiful sort of arc of this woman who had gone through this grief process and was coming out of this grief process. So we sort of bounced back and forward the scripts, and Miki wrote them up and refined them, and that it was really special to be part of that early stage and sort of lock in and go, yeah, I'd love to be part of it, man.
Yeah, and then you had a massive suggestion which altered the story completely. You wanted to set it in Christchurch.
Yeah, well, I'm from Christchurch, and we've in New Zealand we set a lot of our films in the North Island, and it's a little bit North Island centric. So we were kind of like, why can't we step outside that and go down to Otatahi, Christchurch, and have a bit more of that story? And there had been an earthquake in Christchurch, and we thought it'd be a really nice opportunity to include that as part of a storyline.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then, we'll go on to talk a little bit more about the film, but that was the sort of genesis of it. And it's taken 7 years for us to get here, and now we're really excited to finally release it to the wonderful audiences in the States.
There we go. It's your time to shine, Zac.
My name is Zac O'Meagher. I'm a young actor who got to be that guy on the poster behind us.
Wonderful young actor.
Honestly, when you get given a script sent in your emails from your agent, written by Miki Magasiva, I literally opened it up and I was like, wow, we got a good one here. And I wanted the role so badly. And it was crazy to think it was 2 years ago we filmed that now. I was 22 back then, so a few years out of school. But it was just so special to be able to put the uniform back on and start this choir process where I got to sing and dance and be an honorary Samoan for 2 hours. So very thankful for these three guys to my right.
If there's any budding actors out there, you can really learn from this guy. So our movie has some cultural songs in it, and so when we saw Zac's tape, they all had to sing a song for their audition, just so that we knew that they had the ability to hold a tune and to be able to sing songs. This is a choir movie. There is lots of choir singing in it. And Zac knew that we are Samoan. This is a Samoan film. This is a cultural film. And so he actually chose a Māori song to sing for his audition.
And we've actually got that right now that we can run.
But that's the thing, right? I wanted to pick a song that I could emotionally connect to, and I knew that song like the back of my hand. I was gonna sing a Fijian hymn.
Oh, you're right.
I was gonna.
What was the song?
I sang Mo Maria, which is just like, I've just sang that since I was a kid, you know, like going to Catholic schools. That's part of our blood. Mo
For
Maria.
those that don't know it, could you give us a little beat?
Mo Maria ya nei, o tātou waiata, I'm not singing anymore.
So obviously we had to lip sync for the movie for that.
I remember though, during the audition, because you get given the audition, right, and you had to sing this, you had to pick a song and sing it, and I was like, okay. And they wanted to like show emotion during the song as well, because that's kind of a poignant part in the film. And I was like, okay, so I've got to try and cry while I sing. And that's actually a really hard thing to do, because I'd practiced it and I was like, okay, thought about all my sad stuff in my life. Yeah, I reckon I can cry. Yeah, I got this. And it came to the audition. I did the first verse. Nothing. No tears. I'm freaking out. I did the second verse. Nothing was happening again, but luckily that didn't matter, because you still gave me the role. So
No, you chose yourself. It was great. It was great.
Well, let's start at the start. Let's talk about the development of the script, the development of the idea. I mean, I've heard you talk about this a couple of times, Miki, around how you saw a YouTube video and that sort of inspired you to then start writing a script. Can you sort of take us through that journey for you?
So there's a actual choir competition in New Zealand. It's held every year. It's called the Big Sing, and thousands of kids go to that choir every year. It's a very, very big competition in New Zealand, and virtually all of our colleges apply for this choir or have a choir going there, and they've been running for many years now. And one year in 2013, one particular choir sang a medley of songs, which was they were Samoan songs, which is for those of you who don't know, Beulah Samoa. Samoa is in the Pacific. New Zealand is the bottom of the Pacific, and Samoa is another island in the Pacific, in the South Pacific there. And that's where Beulah and I are from. And I moved over, and Beulah's parents moved over to New Zealand, which is where we live now. So we are immigrants to New Zealand. The local culture, Indigenous people in New Zealand are the Māori people, and we are Samoans. So the choir, they're called Correlation Choir, and they're an amazing choir, an amazing school, and they actually appear in our film many years later. Their choir has continued on to this day. They're a very strong choir. Shout out to Fiona Wilson, who is their choir master there, and who helped us in the shooting of the film. And they did a performance in 2013 that just completely blew me away. Not only me, but many other Samoans. It was a tribute to Samoa. It was a tribute to where we're from, and we were very emotional watching that. And so I saw that performance and thought that would make a great premise for a movie. And so I set about creating a story around this premise, around who could the teacher be to teach these young kids choir, and what journey could this teacher go through. And so it took probably a year to get sort of a rough treatment in place, and then a long treatment, and then the next 3 years it took me to write the script. I would send it off to Dan every now and then for him to have a look at and feedback, and peers of ours I would always send across for them to feedback, and then it was an evolving process that took about 3 years before we had investors who were genuinely interested in funding the film.
Yeah. And I think one big part of that is when Miki decided to integrate Otatahi Christchurch into the story and the Christchurch earthquakes. Is Miki and I went up and down from Auckland to Christchurch, and we did a few research trips. It was really important to Miki to be able to make sure that we were getting the true voice of Christchurch and the children as well. And so what we did was we went down and we interviewed high school students from East Christchurch, which is traditionally a little bit more of a poorer part, and then West Christchurch, and we started gaining this understanding. We spoke to some of the local Samoan and Pacifica leaders down there to get a really good insight into that. And so how did that help you sort of start developing those characters and the school kids in there, Miki?
Yeah, well, it was crucial that we understood what people were going through after the Christchurch earthquakes, and in fact they continue to go through it now. So I read a lot of articles, I watched a lot of movies, and like Dan mentioned, we interviewed a lot of people down there because we wanted to make it as genuine and as sincere as possible, and making sure that we were also respecting the people who went through that event, because it was a massive event for New Zealanders. And we wanted to pay tribute to that and respect that by doing all that we could to get as accurate as possible to the journeys that they were going through, to the trauma that they were going through, and eventually to how they superseded those, and they managed to get through that, which is an inspiring story in itself. What they had to go through and what they've managed to do now is to rebuilding not only their city but their lives and their families, and hopefully our film is a testament to and a tribute to all the people who went through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're kind of getting into that stage where you've done a few rough drafts, we're starting to get into some more final drafts, and I suppose it's a good chance to talk about music, because music is such an integral part of this film and drives a lot of scenes, and almost becomes another character that sits in behind all of our leads. And embedding that into the script, what was your process of finding that beautiful Samoan music, and then also some key Kiwiana Aotearoa music as well?
Well, what I'll do first of all is I'll get Beulah to talk to us about this, what we grew up with, the Samoan aspect of the music.
Yeah, Samoan music, I mean, as most New Zealanders, Samoans growing up in New Zealand, the only place you're going to learn your culture is probably at home or at church. Yeah. So, and a lot of our church music are a lot of old school Samoan hymns that are ingrained to us from when we were born. And back then, there was a group called the Samoan Teachers
Training College.
The Training College, and a lot of their music, which you'll hear strongly in this film, is in there. And those are just music that just almost lived in the background of us growing up as kids, and our parents growing up, immigrating over here. And these are just songs that before they even moved to New Zealand, they would sing in Samoa. So that is that is where that Samoan side of this music it comes from for us personally. And I always like to think that when Samoans hear the film, the music in the film, it will instantly take them back to their childhood or their grandmothers, or a memory. But for the rest of the world who don't have that memory, it just sounds like beautiful Samoan music, and that works as well, So it's that thing where it works for us personally, but it still works for the wider audience in the rest of the world, because it's so ingrained, it's so not traditional, it's just so Samoan and specific and not heard of in the rest of the world, that people's ear would be like, what is that sound? Why is it so different and beautiful? So, I mean...
It's part of our identity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's what we... like Beulah said, we all grew up going to church and singing a lot of this music. And for Samoans, choir is a very strong part of our upbringing through church. There's a lot of choir music. We sing a lot of this music when we're growing up, and so when you hear it, it is a nostalgic throwback to our past. And that the inspiration of the film was always was this choir. And so it was going to have a strong aspect of music to it. And a part of that was, how do we take this wonderful old music and integrate it into the story? How do we take that music and have it reflect our culture and our identity as Samoans, and infuse our main character with that so that it reflects the journey that she goes through in the story? And so all of the music was tailored to help the story, help the journey of this character. We're from New Zealand, and probably a good time now to bring up the fact that this is a New Zealand film. We are very proud to be New Zealanders. We are very proud to come from Aotearoa, which is what we call New Zealand in the native Māori language. And so we feel like this film is a very New Zealand film as well, which is why it has its connections to the music that New Zealanders have also listened to and grown up with. So we've put in there some New Zealand music that all New Zealanders know well, and have grown up with as well. And then there's the stretching a little bit further back, which is church music that throughout the world internationally people recognize, because it was important for us to try and reach as many audiences through music. And like Beulah said, you actually don't need to know the music to understand the value of the messages we're trying to tell. But isn't that a strong way of communicating story, right? Is through the music. So yes, a lot of the music is intended to help the story. It's intended to help our main character Maretta, but also her relationship with Sophie, who is our main student character.
Yeah, it was a beautiful insight that I heard you talk about one time in a Q&A about finding this music with your parents. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my mum has just the most amazing memory for all of the old songs that we know. And so, like you do, you just go to your parents for knowledge and music. And so I asked Mum and Dad, hey, let's sit down and listen to some music. And a lot of this stuff's on YouTube now, which is great. And we just listened to song after song after song. And I wanted them to tell me which songs was their favorites, tell me which ones were important to Samoa. And as it turns out, I didn't learn any of that from them because they just enjoyed the session of us sitting down in the afternoon, Sunday afternoons, and recalling these old songs. And man, Mum just kept singing every song, like every lyric for every song I brought up. She knew literally every single one. And there's something amazing in that, eh?
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
One of my most favourite memories was we had a cast and crew screening, and I always tell this story. I sat at the back. I'd seen the movie a couple of times, so I just wanted to watch the audience. And there was this old uncle that I knew growing up in church, and I'd seen him from when I was a little kid to how old I am now, and he's probably in his late 70s, and he was sitting back, and the whole time from when the first song came on, he just leaned back in his chair and he just clapped the whole time. And I was just watching him the whole time crying, and I thinking to myself, I bet you uncle never thought when he first immigrated to New Zealand all the way across the Pacific, caught that plane to change his life and change the trajectory of his kid's life wherever, that he would ever hear his songs that he grew up with, probably singing in the plantations of Samoa in the film. And that is, that's what breaks my heart or fills it with joy every time we go to these Q&As and screenings, and seeing our old people cry and yell out and say thank you for representing them as well, and our future too, the kids. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's time and time again we've just had that beautiful engagement from the audience talking about how much the music means to them, how they love it so much. I want to turn now to sort of the environment that was built on set. And for those that don't know, the Samoan community and culture is so welcoming, and it's got such a nurturing environment around it. So Zac, I want you to sort of lead us off and talk about coming to set that first day, how it felt coming in each day, going to set, what that was like for you as an actor.
The vibe was just awesome, eh? I think it starts from the top. Having Miki Magasiva, the coolest, most composed, calm director, and also having a crew full of Samoans and Polynesians and Māori. There was just such a safe environment for us to express ourselves and for us to learn a completely different culture. And just the cultural advisors we had. There were just so many amazing senior people on the team that you could just call on at any point in time, and it just made it so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, we were mucking around, man, with this guy, Beulah Koale on set. Oh my gosh.
Professional.
I mean, D, for you, you know, obviously you're Samoan, you have that environment, you have those laughs with everybody all the time. How was it bringing in Palangi? So Palangi is white or
people.
European people.
Yeah.
How was that, you know, bringing them into your culture and involving them in it?
Oh, it was very easy. I always say the word automatic. Like, it felt like automatic. It's anytime a friend or a visitor comes into a Samoan house, Mum will straight away go, what do you need? What would you like to eat? Get that kid a cup of tea. You know, we're a culture where you bring a visitor in, a friend in, you make sure they feel at home and welcome. So it was very easy from that first day. I remember meeting Zac and the rest of the kids and going, I need to make my family feel welcome. And throw it over to you, Zac. How was it learning the Samoan words and songs and all that? Like, how was that process?
It was tough. It was really tough, but it was also so just enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think what was amazing about it is because we had probably 25 of us choir members, right? All Palangis, Asians, not Samoan speaking in the slightest. We all started at the same spot. We all started on the same level and had to learn together. You know, it bonded us. It brought us together. And man, just seeing the end result. You know, you guys will see it in the film, angel.com/TINÀ live. You'll see. You just wait till the end, and hopefully
That's
we'll,
right.
Hopefully we'll see something special.
Yeah.
TINÀ streaming now, everybody. So don't forget now, and the Angel Guild, go to the website.
Absolutely. So before we just sort of delve into the characters a little bit more, Miki, pretty tight shooting schedule. 25 days, man, to do a feature. You must have had a real mean producer.
Very mean producer.
Mean guy.
Yeah, didn't let us have any time at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just watching from behind and watching you sort of, you know, drive the actors and getting what you needed. Can you just tell us about working at that pace and, you know, how hard that is, crafting the story, but also giving actors that time to breathe?
Yeah, I mean, it is a tight shooting schedule.
Yeah.
I won't gloss over that. It's very quick. But I think one of the things that you have to do to make sure you have the confidence to get through the schedule is you have to have the people that you trust around you, who not only support you but trust you when you want to move quickly. And so your cast has to believe in you and your crew have to believe in you, and vice versa, you have to believe in them. And so you really have to make sure that the production have that initial mentality that we are going to go quick, that we have to be on our game every single day that we're there. And kudos to all of our cast and crew. Kudos to these guys.
Absolutely.
Because you don't give them that many takes in order to get something. But I'm not the kind of director who's going to wait there all day and try to wait for something magical to happen, because that would be lovely in an ideal world. But as soon as the guys had it, as soon as our cast nailed it, I was ready to move on and not look back.
Yes.
And just keep going forward and have the confidence that I just had it. Or find it later on. And once we gained that momentum and gained that pace, everybody bought into it. And like we said before, that's why it's so crucial to have a team that trusts the environment, trusts each other, believes each other, like genuinely believes each other. I've listened to a lot of these things before, and they say the same things about, you know, having trust in your casting crew and believing in your casting crew, but really you were there and you're like, that didn't happen.
You're screaming, buddy. You're screaming.
But that didn't happen for us. We can genuinely hand on heart say, that this cast and crew had the most amazing time,
Yeah.
believed in each other, trusted each other, loved each other, and so that allowed us to move quickly and get our days and just trust the process.
I guess that again just came down to the environment that was built from day
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And
I remember sitting back and watching, just like having an outside view and watching my bro and just being amazed at how calm he was. Because I knew it was tight. And from the beginning, from the blessing, from the environment, you said, you let us know. We're probably going to have 3 takes each. Then we have to move on. So we have to nail it. But usually directors panic and then the wheels start turning, and then the rocks start building up, and then the boulder, then everyone starts. But there was 0 clashes. If anything, we were laughing too much. We were having so much fun, and then we're moving on. And, you know, time was tight, but like everyone from the grips to the cameraman, to the DOP, to the cast, everyone was like fighting together to tell the story right and get it done. So that was down to you. And you sit there. So
yeah, and I think we've done a beautiful job of that. So make sure you go over to angel.com and stream the film, and make sure you watch that and share with your friends as well. So let's now start going a little bit deeper into our cast, and it's probably a wee bit remiss of us to not have mentioned Marita or Annabella, who was the one that brought that to life. So starting with Belle's, Miki, she was involved early on and involved in the scripting and development. Can you just give us a little bit of background on that, and then lead into casting her and then working with her on set?
Well, Belle's is a writer, director, acting coach. Well, she does everything. She's amazing. So I was always going to go to her for advice on the script anyway. And so I did. I called her up and I asked her if she wouldn't mind coming and helping develop that character, feedback on the script, and see if she would help me out. And of course, my sister always helps out. She never says no. She always comes along. She's always willing to help. And she's actually like that with everybody, by the way. She's just the most caring, loving, gentle soul that you'll ever meet. We love her. And we always like bringing up how talented and experienced she is, because we feel like she hasn't gotten her flowers over the years, especially in this arena, in this film arena, because Annabella has done a lot of work. And so I brought her in, we worked on the script, we fed back in ideas, and I redrafted with her input. And then when we got the green light, that was when we approached Belle's about whether she would be in it. And she jokes and she always says that we should have told her a lot earlier. Love you, sis. But that's when we told her late in the process, and I didn't want to tell her that I wanted her to play the role, because I wanted her to feedback from an outside perspective, not from somebody who had the pressure of having a role just yet. And she brought so many insights into the script. I mean, it's funny because there's a couple of moments in the film where early on in the piece, maybe before we even shot, people would say, that's very manly of you to do those things, right? To put your students through those things. And I always laugh because I say that was Belle's who said that. She always said, I think I want to make them exercise. I think I want to make them work more.
Love it.
And so a lot of those little ideas are actually from Annabella herself.
Then I guess we should move on to the role of Sophie. The amazing Antonia played this role. Now, before Miki sort of tells us a little bit about it, Zac, you played opposite her. Can you talk about what she can bring to a scene?
Antonia is incredible. Like, to have those two as our leads, Annabella Pulataival and Antonia Robinson, genuinely world class. I think with Tony, what was so impressive is just her ability to, you look in her eyes when she's acting and you go to somewhere else. Like, she can, I struggle with crying, right? And acting. Tony, I remember on her day one, she was telling us that Miki was like, okay, can we get one tear just to roll down like at this precise time? She did it, easy as. So she's just such a young, talented, incredible actor. and I think it's just the start of the journey for her.
Yeah, I think just going back in my memory, I think we had about 70 Sophie's audition, and there were some amazing actresses that came through in that. But I think Miki, you sort of said to me at one stage, "No, I know who it's going to be."
Yeah. From the very first moment I saw her, I knew it was going to be her. And you always want to be open to consider other people who put themselves forward for the role, but I kind of felt like from the moment I saw her, I at least knew we had the role. And then we went through the process of making sure that she was the right person, due diligence on everybody, and paying respects to everybody who turned up and auditioned for the role. But it could only have ever been her.
Yeah, and she did the work as well. I mean, I think there's a couple of interviews where she talks about sitting in that room with all the other Sophies and being like, "What the heck? No, I'm going to be the Sophie. I've done the work. I know what I'm up to."
She's funny actually, because one of the things that I love about Tony is she's talented, but actually she works really hard. The girl goes away, does her research, makes sure that she does everything she can in order to play the role. I mean, she is the one who brought up the idea of the role playing cello. I didn't have that in the script originally. That was Antonia's idea, because she could play the cello and she hadn't played in a while, but she wanted to get back into it. So she took herself away and she auditioned. She rehearsed and practiced, and she would send me videos and say, "This is where I've gotten to, this is where I'm at." She got her brother to help her with the piano again, and all of these things she did on her own. And that's just the signs of a really committed good actor.
That music element again, Annapella and Tony, really connecting with that music. There's a beautiful scene where they first meet. And they're at a piano in Christchurch, outside in what is the art centre there. I mean, I remember being there for the filming of it, and it was just a very special, emotional moment. And they just went somewhere in that moment. Can you talk a little bit about that scene?
Yeah, it was the last scene they shot. That they shot together actually, and it was one of the last scenes. In fact, with the actors, it was the last scene that we shot. And so the girls had been on this long, wonderful journey together, and we were coming to the end of our shoot, and we knew it was the last shot. And so something really special happened. It was one of the moments where I looked into my little monitor at Tony, and I was convinced at that moment she was going to be a superstar. She just, there's so few moments where actors get into a magical space. And she got into that space at that time. And once we finished that scene, I was emotional and I was crying, and Tony was emotional, she was crying. It was just so special to see somebody who'd done so much work, tried so hard, gone through some trauma to get the role, got the role, perform it, and then just see her flower into something so special.
They both command space in the most gentlest, lovely way.
You just own that screen, right?
And I remember just watching them both operate together, just on set, and I was shocked that was her first film. Shocked that Antonia was. I was just like, and then. Like, she commanded you quite, I remember. Like, I just saw her like, everyone, you gotta be in tip-top shape. We've got to move on to this. No mucking around too much. I remember walking over to her, I was like, you tell them, Toad. You tell them. And you have to be at that level if you're going to act opposite the legend, our legend, Annapella Pulutau. You know, and they carry this film, they carry it. So.
And we're really sorry that Annapella and Antonia can't be here today. And you're
so
stuck with
you got the Timu versions. You got me, and you got
the C and the D team.
Well, I don't know if I'd agree with that, because now we're going to go from those two superstars to a real big superstar. Beulah, you play the role of Zeal so beautifully, and it's not an easy role to play. There is a lot of emotional depth that you have to go into. There's places you have to take yourself. So give us a little bit of insight on how, when you first read that script, how it sat with you. Obviously, a good friend of Miki's, and then going into filming and some of those scenes where you had to go into that place and talk about mental health or bring it to the forefront.
Yeah, so Seal's kind of, he doesn't have many scenes, but he helps drive the script, and he's kind of like the little heart piece, I like to think of it, the heartbeat of this film, because
Nice, yeah.
he's and I know this is where Mick's planted his heart, and this is the character that he put a lot of himself into, and who I know who this specific character represents. So it was an honor. Like, I took it as an honor to play this role, because I knew who I was representing, I knew who I was doing it for, I knew who was writing it, and I had so much love for these humans in my life. So I was willing to give anything and everything that I could to portray the role right. And, it meant that, I had to go to some dark places, but it sounds weird, because it's like, sure, I had to go to some dark places, but I love going to that dark place.
Yeah.
On set, there's a hospital scene. I love on being on the set, having the moment where I'm in the bed, to my right is Mum, and then just across over the camera is my big brother, and we didn't even need to say anything to each other. I think one time he whispered something in my ear, but it was just like magic. And like being in that little hour block that we shot to shoot that scene, or a couple of scenes, was, to me, that's why I act.
Yeah.
And we had to jump into some deep places, but it was super safe and fun to do it, because as soon as you called cut, we were laughing.
Yeah.
We were laughing and having the best time, and the audience will see us, will see Seal go into a moment. And sure, I hope we all talk about this, and we talk about mental health in this film, and we're not hiding from mental health, because in our community we don't talk about it enough. So we do open the book up for everyone and give the audience a chance to have a conversation outside of the cinema about that. And my why for this film is dedicated to my big brother here, Paul, who the film is dedicated to. So you could tell me to jump 100 meters and I'll try to jump 110. I was trying to do what Sophie and Marita, the grips and the cameraman were all doing. We're all in the same boat, trying to catch the same wave and go in the same direction.
Yeah. It was. You tell a funny story about meeting him for that first time, eh?
Oh my gosh, Beulah has this, like, he's world class, right? He is Mr. Hawaii Five-0. He's done a million acting jobs. And all us kids, we were just like fresh, And when Beulah walks into the room and we're meeting him for the first time, we're all a bit nervous. And I think you guys got the casting spot on. Just a little bit biased, but yeah, Beulah as CEO, man, makes me cry every time. Every time.
Hey, now Zach, let's talk about your role. Your character has to take an emotional journey himself and sort of reflect on what choices and what roads he wants to take. Tell us a little bit about how that is, taking that on board as an actor and then being able to bring that to life on set.
What I loved about my role, Anthony, is that I could just draw on so much reality. It was actually really easy at times, because I went to a school that was very similar to St. Francis in the film, where rugby is just the forefront and just the most important thing, especially for a lot of the crusty old teachers. Faith is a big thing, where joining the choir isn't actually the coolest thing as well. It wasn't at my school, but I was literally, in real life, I had to choose between rugby and choir at one point. My drama teacher was like, come on, you've got to do one. Rugby coach was telling me to do that. Choir coach is telling me to do that. So I luckily was able to do both, and I got to do both in this film as well. But it was just so enjoyable, man. Getting directed by this guy was probably my main highlight. I think Miki is just such a decisive director, and it just makes it really easy for the actors, because we know our intentions and our motivations are so clear. Yeah. And when you get to work with this guy as well, it's pretty fun, because he makes you laugh every time.
One of the biggest things that has to happen when you shoot your movie it comes out and your first cut is 2 hours 47, 2 hours 50 minutes, and everybody wants you to take it under 2 hours, and you say, as a directors always say, I don't want to do that. But you have to, sacrifices have to be made to get the film down. And one of my biggest regrets is that we had to sacrifice a lot of Zac's scenes and his story. And one of the things that happens when you do that is you don't showcase, the person who's playing the role. Yeah. You're unable to showcase the true value of that person because Zac has shot lots of scenes that just show how talented he is, how wonderful he is as an actor. And so when they see it, they go, "Oh, what happened to my scenes that I shot?" And so that's one of the things that is my biggest regret is like cutting out a lot of Zac stuff in order to get a lot of the movie time down. But he has some wonderful scenes with him and his brother. And so in the movie, Zac's brother is played by his real brother. And they got an opportunity. We got the wonderful honor of having the real brothers be in our movie and seeing them play across from each other and next to each other. That was actually a really special moment for me because we had tried to build this idea of family and this environment of family. A lot of us had known each other before for a long time. This was our first time working with Zac, but to have him come along with his brother as well was another special dimension that was added to the film that unfortunately people won't see. But trust me, Zac is amazing, and having his brother along board on that ride was really special for us.
But let's be honest, the duration cuts, I mean, this film has just made the top 5 New Zealand highest grossing box office of all time. So I think in the big picture,
you're happy with that
made the
sacrifice.
right decisions.
Yes, we might have made 4 if we kept
Just before we move on from the cast, and unfortunately we don't have time to do justice of delving into every single cast member, but Miki, is there 2 or 3 more that you can just give us a little top line of some of those key actors and what they brought to the film?
Yeah. So, look, I think because we've got Zac here, we talked about Tony, the rest of the student cast would be just wonderful to touch on. So along next to Zac, we had some wonderful, I would say junior actors because they were younger than me. But we also had Taylor
playing June. She was kind of a goody two-shoes character.
Yes, we had Talia playing
Mei Ling.
Yes.
Who kind of has a cult following now in New Zealand.
The hands go up and go, hey, I just want to talk about Mei Ling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Oscar playing Adam, who was kind of the innocent young boy. And I think the 5 of us kids, we just gelled, like as real people, as characters. And it just made filming so enjoyable because we were literally going back to school together, right?
Yeah.
Like we were learning together. I mean, having Anapela Polataivao literally as your teacher on and off set was, oh man, that's special. You can't teach that.
And we've had so much feedback. One of the hard things is that you can't bring everybody along this ride, this media run ride with you. But one of the biggest feedbacks we've gotten is how wonderful the supporting roles have been. Oh. And that is a testament to the wonderful talent like Zac and Talia and Taylor and Oscar and Antonia, because if they're not supporting the scene from behind, and I would watch every scene play out, and I remember watching Taylor in a couple of the scenes in the background, propping up the scene, from the background, making sure that it felt real, that nothing was loose, that every single one of them would prop these scenes up. And so every time, everybody who's watched the film would come to us and say, who are those kids playing those roles? Have those kids played before? And I would proudly announce that no, they haven't played heaps of stuff on TV before, but we think they should, and they should get their moments to shine as well. So testament to all of our wonderful student actors who played alongside the wonderful Zac here.
We also had a few bad guys, a few good bad guys.
Yes, we did.
had some interesting reaction from audiences across the world, really. Jamie Irvine. He played Peter Wadsworth, who's the
Mr. Wadsworth,
deputy headmaster.
Brilliantly played, and still to this day one of my favourite. One of my favourite cast
But that's the thing, right?
members.
These are real. I mean, Miki wrote this, but these are real life people. Like I had those teachers at school, and you'll see it in the film. Angel.com/TINÀ Live.
Yep.
You'll see these amazing performances.
Yeah, well, let me just say something quickly about that, actually, because Jamie is a wonderful actor, and he is the complete opposite to the role that he plays.
Let's throw him under the bus. Let's throw him under the he is exactly the same. This is
everybody go find him. And so, he just wanted to make sure that he was dialed into the right spot, and so he would often come to me and go, "Hey, listen, am I pitching this right?" And I said, "You are pitching exactly where I want you to pitch that role, And so there has been some comments that have come back saying, "Oh, well, the baddie's a bit flamboyant and over the top and this," but that's exactly where I wanted Jamie to play the role. He is a wonderful actor that could have taken it anywhere, actually. If we wanted it a bit more serious, he could have taken us there, but that's the way I wanted to pitch the role, because there's a silliness to that I wanted to portray. Right? Those actions are silly to me, and I've seen the silliness play out so many times in my life, and I interviewed so many teachers who were far more flamboyant than Jamie was. We also have Nicole Whippy, who's an actor, writer, director herself, who came along and played the role, and Nicole is actually Fijian. And I wanted her to play the role because she's a wonderful actress, and I've always wanted to work with her. And she called me up, and she wanted to make sure that she was in the movie for the right reason. She called me up and she said, "Listen, I'm not Samoan.
That's right.
I want to pay tribute to that, and I want to make sure that you're finding the right person to play this." And I said, "I want you to play it. Let's just adapt the character for that." And so it was wonderful for an actor to call you up, who is a Pacific Islander, and say that she wants to make sure she's respecting Samoa. And so I just changed the character for it. She was half Samoan, half Fijian. And there was a line in there that she says, because she wanted to make sure that, we had a proper reason for it. And so I just wrote in there, Sophie goes, "You don't look Samoan." And she goes, "I'm Fijian." But I cut it out of the movie. So we have Nicole in there, and Dalip Sondi is a wonderful actor, originally from the UK, but has been based in Perth, Australia for a long time now. And guys, talk to me about Dalip's voice.
Oh, he became one of our brothers. He's amazing.
Headmaster, right?
Comforting, warm, like a nice, smooth, frothy cappuccino. When you hear that man's voice,
you listen.
You listen.
Gravitas on set, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
So suave.
Yeah,
so handsome.
But
I am so jealous.
It goes to show, man, you can get good teachers and you can get your bad teachers. It's a real 50-50.
Oh, look. Hey, before we continue on, team, it's feeling a little bit hot under these lights and things. So maybe, Zach, you could lead us in one of the little warm-ups that we have in the film. And lots of people love this, and we do it at a lot of the screenings and the Q&As. I'm gonna play a parlang and do a really bad job of this.
Hey, don't try to do that. He's gonna do the best version he can do right now, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone zoom in here.
It was probably
I'm gonna be a cutaway.
It was probably one of my favorite moments though, because I didn't know Miki wanted me to actually lead the Millie. He pulled me aside one rehearsal and he said, "Zach, you're doing it." And luckily I'd done it a few times at school, so let's do it right now, okay? Millie. Patia, luapati, hey,
ho,
hey,
ho,
totofa, lalo. Clean.
I think a couple of littles there.
You're off a little bit.
That's right.
Not bad for a white
Hey, it's all
You can
good.
have that. You can have that.
Hey, so I think now, just as we wrap up, I mean, it's been a wild ride so far, right? So I want to do a little quick recap. From my memory, I'm sure I'm going to miss a few things out here. Yes. We opened the Hawaii International Film Festival, opening night film, and then we went to Palm Springs. We were at Palm Springs as well.
Yes.
There's been various other film festivals that we've been. Perth, we opened to Perth as well. Had a huge audience that came to that one. Yes. Then we released the film in February in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And then we went on a little bit of a tiki tour as well, doing these Q&As. We went all through New Zealand doing these. We went across the Pacific. We went to Australia, Samoa, Fiji, all the way down the coast of Australia as well. This film has just done so well. It's actually it's still in cinemas in New Zealand, or just coming off being in cinemas. So there's a huge run to have a film in there. We also, as Zac touched on earlier, we just recently became the 5th highest grossing New Zealand film of all time, which is just amazing. And the fanfare that we've had across the world has just been epic. Miki, in your wildest dreams, did you think we'd be doing that and then releasing in America?
No, not at all. You're just so happy you got the opportunity to make a film. You're not thinking about getting this far. You have your hopes and dreams about where you want to go. We have shot past that mark considerably now. So no, I'm just so stoked for the team, and so happy for the team and the community. All of our family and friends have come on that journey with us to hit these milestones, because you don't do it on your own. It takes so many people to come on board, to give you their time and their love to put this thing together. And I don't think hopefully I'll go on to do other projects, but I think I'll look back at this as probably the most special film that I'll ever do in my life. And so to have it do so well, I'm happy as a family and as a team that we did it together, and we've hit these wonderful milestones together. So,
I think something that we need to touch on, and I think Beulah, I'll let you take more of a lead on this, but it is the groundswell of support. The way this film has actually been so successful is the people, is the community, right?
This film, I like to say it on social media, is that this film is the people's film. And I say that, I don't say that lightly, because within the last 10 years of New Zealand films, there hasn't been a film as successful as this, and in an era of streaming, to make top 5 is almost impossible, because that means you have to get people to go to the movies, and that's what they count. And Whale Rider was 5 for a long time, and that was made in the early 2000s? So to finally pass Whale Rider or Catch the Whale is in a time of streaming is impossible.
And surreal, isn't it?
It's surreal. Like,
we love that film.
We love that. That is our favorite. Yeah, and Keisha Castle-Hughes does an amazing performance in there, Oscar nominated, and Miki's film has been marketed by the people, and on social media and everything. Like our first screening in Auckland, we packed out the Civic Theatre. How many does that?
Over 2,000.
Over 2,000 people of Pacific Islanders, mums, dads, bright coloured in their leis.
Beautiful.
And it didn't feel like a premiere like other film premieres where you wear a nice suit. This was controlled by aunties and mums who'd come there kicking and screaming, singing their songs. And that wave that started in Hawaii just went to the New Zealand premieres, went to these festivals, went around New Zealand, to the Pacific, to Australia, and now is here in America. And we showed it at the Seattle Film Festival, and we oversold the thing. Like the organizers for the festival were shocked at how many people turned up, and we weren't shocked. We were sitting there going, this is not our film anymore. This is the people's film, and this is what we mean. Like when you look up the link, angel.com/TINÀ live, where you can watch it, you're watching a film that was made with the best intentions, and Miki was talking about earlier, and he's being humble. I think this film is great because your heart and your intention to make the film and to tell the story is different from a lot of directors out there in the world. You're trying to tell it and honor every little bit, from the Christchurch to a Kiwi film to Samoa, and the people had seen that. the people feel that through the screen. You guys are going to feel it too. And that is the wave that everyone caught on. And now we're releasing it in America, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
And that's the exciting thing that we've found with finding our partner in Angel, is that, we were quite stubborn about finding the right partner, weren't we, Miki? So our journey to bringing it to TINÄ and to the Guild and going through the process, we can't say thank you enough, because it feels like we've found the right home here at Angel. So just before we do wrap up, I'm going to sort of go along the line, and Zac, going to start with you. What do you hope that people who are watching it at home, are sitting there hopefully with their family and whānau and everybody around them? What do you want them to sort of take out of this movie, or what do you want them to hold close when they finish watching the movie and then reflect?
Cultural acceptance.
Yeah.
Honestly, this isn't a film just for Polynesian people. It's been amazing to see how many Palangis, how many white people, Asian people have really just had the film deeply resonate with them. This easily could have been a film with 5 Polynesian students and a Polynesian teacher, but there's just something so powerful about seeing another culture take on another culture and really respect that in the most beautiful way possible through song and dance. And so I think we all bleed the same colour, and it's so important to remember that, we're all part of the same race, the human race.
Yeah, Miki?
I hope audiences feel some of the spirit of what we've tried to create, because I feel like with this particular film, before I made it, I always thought, we made our stories and our films, and then we sent that out, and that was it. That's all we did. What I've come to learn from the journey of putting this film out and seeing the community's reaction to it, and hearing their emotional responses to it, that films can have a spirit, that people read that beyond what they see. They can feel something extra to it. So hopefully, because we always thought that this should be shared with your friends and family. So watching it at home, please do bring a friend along. Bring your family members next to you when you're watching it on TV, and have that shared experience, because I hope you feel something spiritual in there.
Yeah. Big wrap us up.
Mō lava, whesi atu riinga ni whawhitai le tua, mo nei awa noa. Muli atu alofaanga I tato aina, ma wō. Molo tō tatalo, ma tapo inga mai, mātou. First and foremost, we thank God for this opportunity that we get to even be here today, and talk and promote our film. Well, not even promote, just talk about our people who are behind it and the reason why we're here today. We also like to thank our friends and family, and those for your prayers, for your drive to get us to this point, and for those who are watching at home. We want to thank you for the opportunity, for allowing us into your house and bringing a friend along. And hopefully you can feel the spirit of this film in that room when you watch it with them. And hopefully you can share it around with everyone else and get my big brother out here to make more movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is our goal. And thank you to Angel for the opportunity of letting us distribute this film into homes across America.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much for spending about an hour with us, I think. It seems like it just flew by. But it was really special for us to be able to share a little bit more of the film with you. Make sure you do go and watch the film at angel.com/TINÄ Live. And please watch out for the socials, our socials at TINÄ The Film, and also on the Angel socials. This has been an absolute joy. Thank you so much. Fa.
Fa.